Happy Monday. What's up, Chris?
What's up, bro? I love that intro.
Thanks, awesome. Man. I got an awesome video editor and got that idea from another guy who did a podcast. And I was like, let's just make it fun because I was getting to the point where I'm trying to go live, trying to make sure everything's working. And then we're sitting here for 30 seconds trying to figure out what we're not doing right. And then I was like, just do that. I can figure it out while that's going on and we're good to go. So happy Monday. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to come hang with us on Facebook Live for the third week. I think this is now.
Bro, and super cool, man. Super cool. You're a motivation, man. Because I'm not gonna lie, I have a hard time being consistent, and watching you be consistent is really encouraging, man. So
I appreciate it. It's not easy, I tell you, especially on the weekends when I'm doing it by myself. Like yesterday, I was like, man, maybe I could just make another excuse and not do it today. And I just got on there and just rambled about tribes and whatever's in my head at that space and just went with it. So, but it's fun. I do enjoy this because I get to talk to people, get to know people. I mean, like you, I've only met once in Florida down at the PWMCA and had a really good time with you and your wife down there. Got to hear you speak live and you had a really good story. So I'm grateful for you to jump on today and tell us a little bit about yourself. So if you would, just let the audience know who you are.
Yeah, man. My name is Chris Martinez, and I live out here I live in the country. So no one ever has heard of Hempstead, Texas. So I just default to Houston, Texas. But grown up here most of my life. I'm a foster kid. I was put in foster care at 2 years old. And by the time I was 11, lived with 13 different families, just passed from family to family to family. Been abused in every sense of the word abused, been rejected, abandoned, tossed to the side. And through all that, I didn't stumble across the exterior cleaning business like, as an entrepreneur. It was just one of the few things someone in my position could do, manual labor. So I was a welder and then I was also a cleaner. And thank God I found this industry because it literally changed my life. It changed, it went from, you're a window cleaner, to, dang, dude, how did you do all that washing windows? So I'm very blessed and fortunate I wouldn't change one thing about my story, man. I'm very blessed, fortunate to where it's taken me and where it's brought me. That's why I'm a firm believer in things just like this, because I'm only where I'm at because of mentors and coaches and watching people like you, man. So I'm very fortunate for my story.
Well, I love it. And thank you for sharing. And just goes to show that even when you have a hard life, good things will happen to great people. And you're killing it, man. I love seeing what you're doing and love hearing the story. So let's get started. And, one of the things that you wanted to talk about here, which is something that I struggle with way too often, and is self-limiting beliefs. And, I think a lot of us have a lot to overcome when it comes to that subject. And it's hard. It's hard to feel confident with what we're doing and that we're doing the right things. So just tell us a little bit about your story with that.
Yeah. Of course, I just shared a little bit of my past, but that comes with a lot of what I would call trauma that I didn't even know it even existed. I lived in an all boys home, and then I was the youngest out of 5 brothers. So I didn't grow up around any kind of emotional, women or comfort. And, it was a suck it up, buttercup type of mentality. And it wasn't until I got older that, I started to think, let me back up. I had a mentor as I was changing my life. I've only changed my life maybe about 13, 14 years ago. So I'm brand new at this. I'm only just barely a decade old at all this. And I went to one of my mentors. It was in network marketing, believe it or not. And he was like, hey, why aren't you coming to all these meetings? And I was just like, dude, I ain't got time for all those meetings. Life's just in the way. And I dumped on him. I just said, man, my girlfriend is cheating on me. I'm facing a felony drug charge. And I just dumped on him. And I just said, man, life sucks. And he looked at me right in the eyes and just said, man, life doesn't suck. You suck. Every decision you make, man, is just a horrible decision. And I'm not going to lie. I didn't take that wisdom like, oh, thank you. Like I was literally got my feelings hurt. I was pissed off. I was like, screw you, dude. And I never talked to that dude again. And it wasn't until I kept getting in trouble and I kept facing trauma and, just different things in my life, just dating the same girls that cheat on you and, making the wrong decisions. And it wasn't until I was sitting in a jail cell one day, I was just like, man, life doesn't suck. It's me. Like if I can, I think I was listening to like either Zig Ziglar or Jim Rohn. I think it was Jim Rohn, like, or no, Zig Ziglar. You can change the next 2 years of your life if you just change the habits. And I just started thinking about these things of like, man, where does my self-limiting beliefs come from? Because I grew up like, man, you're just going to be nothing but a drug addict or a dope dealer. There's no future for you. There's no hope for you. And I was just like, man, where does all that, stem from? Where does all that come from? And I think it's something that we all go through, especially men. It's like, oh, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm a man, and it's like, no, dude, like I'm doing this right now as a father, as a husband, like, where do I suck at, and it stems from those self-limiting beliefs of I don't deserve. And I think for me, that's where it came from. And it's different for everybody. But I think for me, it's like, I don't deserve a good marriage. I don't deserve good kids. I don't deserve a good business. And for me, I had to start right there and say, man, why? Why do you feel this way? And I know this is, kind of a crazy thing to even talk about, but it's like, I don't hear a whole lot of people talking about it.
No, this is great. I love this. I mean, like you said, not a lot of people talk about it because as men, even women suffer this too, but we just
for sure
it all back and we think we're alone. And we, like you said, we keep putting ourselves in those situations, and it's about breaking away from that rhythm, that system, to step away from that, to find the light and find the positivity.
Yeah, and then you just add different layers. If you're a husband, and you have them there. If you're a father, you have them there. If, as entrepreneurs, we have them here. It's like I just was talking to a group of entrepreneurs last week where every one of them had self-limiting beliefs on just making 10 grand a month, much less 20 grand a month. That's a self-limiting belief. Like, oh, I can never do that. My area won't allow it, or my service. We do it in everything. What I mean? And I've done it in my business of, no one's going to pay me $1,000 for that. No one's going to pay me that much to wash the window. No one, what I mean? And just these, and it's not until I started getting around, Josh Latimer's and Howard Partridge's and Santiago's, and it's like, I'm doing it in the same city you're doing it. I'm doing it in the smaller rural area. And then when you start to see other people overcoming their excuses, and you're like, Howard literally, or Santiago just a few weeks ago, straight up told me, he's like, because I said, man, there's just no good workers out here, man. There's just, and he's like, I got 30 of them right now, and I'm about to bring on another 10, and in the same city, just like, you suck, man, not the market. It's my self-limiting beliefs that crush me every single time,
Yep. No, I love that. Yeah, because I remember when we started the washing, especially the lights, it's like nobody's gonna want to pay me $4,000 to hang lights. Now it's a challenge. Like, all right, who's gonna pay me $20,000? Like, who's next? Like, I just want to keep raising that bar and challenge myself to, beat that every step of the way and just do better. So
my favorite person to watch this, I share this all the time, is the Cake Boss. I mean, the dude sold a cake for $30 million, some 20, $30 million. I mean, can you imagine, him telling his friends, like, I'm gonna, and all that, like, that was a one-time thing, but all the time selling cakes for 20 grand, 30 grand, like just every day, can you imagine him having self-limiting beliefs, talking to other people about his, his goal, and then them throwing back their self-limiting beliefs on him. Like, there's no way you're going to sell a cake for $20,000, dude. There's no way. And yet here he is.
I might start baking cakes tonight. I don't know.
Dude, he's one of my heroes in entrepreneurship. Like, he's just like, I mean, dude, if you're going to make cakes, you might as well be a cake boss,
That's incredible. And I love your shirt, man. Hope Dealer. That's so powerful. And, I love that. I've seen you wear that before. It's a great shirt, great saying, and that's incredible. So, wife, kids, I think you just went on a ski trip, maybe?
Yeah, dude, that was a whole nother world, dude. We were in, I'm from Texas, Houston area, so we never see snow. And when it is snow, it's like here 1 minute, gone the next minute. And it's like a miracle if it snows here in Texas, or at least here in Houston. And that was a whole nother world. Went to Frisco, Breckenridge, and dude, got to go snowmobiling up the mountains.
Nice.
And, dude, so cool. Like, we're tropical beach people, and it was like, forget the beach, dude. We're going to the mountains now.
I love it.
So yeah, so cool. Yeah, so married with a wife, going on 12 years, going on 13 years, or on 12 years. 3 kids.
Wow.
21-year-old. 17-year-old and a 10-year-old boy. So 2 girls, 1 boy. And, again, this is statistically speaking, I'm not supposed to be married with kids. They're supposed to be drug addicts following in my footsteps. And it's just proof that, man, you can break the cycle. You can break in my world, we would call it a generational curse, you know what I mean? But you could break the cycle, you can literally go from broken to being made whole, and broken family to having a good, healthy family, going from, I didn't have a role model for father to, I had to watch people like, oh, that's what they do. They take their daughters on dates. Oh, well, I need to start taking my daughters on dates. Oh, okay. That he tells his whisper sweet nothing into his wife's ear. I need to, it's just copycatting and copy and pasting it, learning.
Yeah, that's the thing about fatherhood. They have books for it, but that's not going to give you every step of the way, and that's not going to teach you for your life. I mean, it's just a black and white textbook, but same thing with me and the kids. Like, I don't know if I was doing everything right raising them, but they turned out to be great kids, and I'm grateful for them, and I love them to death. And I'd be lost without those two. So it's an incredible experience being a father. And
it is.
I wanted a boy, and I got two amazing girls, and I don't regret any second of that. And I love being a girl dad.
Yeah, dude, I watched your journey, man. It's so cool. Italy and going all over Rome, and so cool to watch you and your journey, dude.
Thanks, man. The only thing I still can't do is I can't braid their hair. I'm working on that.
So you've probably seen all the hacks and tricks.
I try, man. I've tried with the vacuum cleaner to get it up, and Nixie will be there and just put it up in like 2 seconds. I'm like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
That's not for me. And so you talked about high tickets when we were down in PWMCA, and I see you got a good system going for that. What are you doing to get those high tickets? Because, we talked about that self-limiting belief that we can only charge so much, but now you just keep pushing that and pushing that even higher. So what's one step that you've taken to overcome all that to just keep that machine going?
Yeah. So I always hear like the customer journey starts when the phone rings, and I kind of took it back. Like, customer journey starts when they heard about you. So how did they hear about you, and what's that very first impression? So I always say, like, if you can do your marketing right, which that's what I thrive in. I never was a good salesperson, so I had to rely heavily on marketing. So I figure if I can do all my marketing right in the beginning, have the right audience, I'm not marketing to, in the beginning, I was marketing to anybody. If you have a window, I'm marketing to you. You know what I mean? Like, you're my customer if you have a window on your house. And it's like, well, what if they're, poor? What if they don't care about clean things? What if, they don't really live in a home, or they don't, it's rented. So I started thinking, who is my customer, right? And now I'm only going to market to these people. So we started going after, I built a whole like customer avatar. Who's my perfect customer? Where does she live? She lives in a 5,000 square foot home. Where does she shop? She shops at Whole Foods. She could shop at HEB, but she shops we have HEB down here. So whatever your grocery store is, fill in the blank. But she could go to the corner store and get a $2 cup of coffee, but she goes to Starbucks. She could go to Burger King and get 10 nuggets for $1, but she goes to Chick-fil-A and gets half the nuggets for triple the price. And so I found my customer, first of all, like, who are they? And they're rich people. Like, I was just like, they're people with wealthy. And then I didn't stop there. I was like, okay, well, where do they live? I can't, if it's my perfect customer, if they live in a 2,500 square foot home, I can't spend my marketing dollars on those people. So we started going after 5,000 square foot homes that have my perfect customer in it. So I think it all starts with building a high ticket, what I would call a high ticket machine. We call it just three things: attracting high-end clients, closing high ticket sales, and retaining those clients for life. And it all starts with attracting them. Like, what are you doing to attract them? Like I said, like in the beginning, what's the first thing they see? Is it a website? Then your website better be like, dude, this is going to cost me some money, right? Like, it better be different from all the other window cleaning websites or pressure washing or Holiday Light. Is it a flyer on the door? It better not be just a piece of paper, that you're going after value shoppers with the price shopper, flyer, Is it a, fill in the blank? How did they first hear about you? And that better just that first impression. And then every step of the way, like, follow that customer journey. They call you on the phone, and I saw this story. We're at a vendor's shop here not too long ago, and they were cold calling. They're a supplier. They were cold calling pressure washing companies. They called 16 of them. 0 people answered the phone. And it's like, how can you add so much value to your potential customer and you can't even answer the phone,
Yeah.
and then when they do answer it, it's hello or
Yeah.
load my windows. Like, no, dude, over like every step of the way, over. Hey, thank you for calling Love My Clean Windows. This is Chris. How may I serve you today? Like every step of the way, you can't just miss steps and be like, I gave them a fancy estimate,
Right.
and like,
Yep.
no, dude, like high ticket marketing, attracting high end clients, and you got to know who they are first. Where are they? And then how are you going to go after them?
I love
And
that.
that's
Yeah.
just that marketing part.
Yeah, it's all about the experience. You want that customer to feel like they're getting value from the second they hear about you. And that phone call, that initial phone call is so important. I can't tell you how many jobs we've gotten just because they said, you're the first company to answer the phone. And I don't get why. And it's just hard for some people to even make that hire, to hire an admin, or even get, like Jill's office or pink collars to have them answer the phone for you while you're on the roof cleaning. It's like, I'm not going to sit here and wait for you to call me back and leave you a voicemail saying, hey, I really need you to come clean my house today. So just call me back when it's convenient for you. No, it's like click next.
Yeah, absolutely. And I watch the women around me, that's how I kind of get my intel because I'm not my perfect customer. So I watch my perfect customers who are the women around me, literally voicemail, I'll call the next plumber, voicemail, call the next electrician,
Yep.
voicemail, call the next countertop guy, and then like, I don't, I mean, we're in 2023. I think there's just so much technology out there today that you don't have a reason not to answer your phone,
Yeah.
So it's just, there's no excuse behind it. I always say, if it's between me and you getting the job and me getting the job, I'm going to win every single time. Cause I'm going to not just answer the phone, but every part of that customer journey, I'm going to master it and I'm going to wow them every part of the way. Like not just, like doing a good job should just be an icing on the cake, right? Like they should already be wowed before you even get to the job.
Yep.
And that's kind of what I try to teach is that part of it, like all the little nuances. And I love Tommy Mello, how he's like, I don't do this, but man, it's just part of the nuance. Like calling up a prospect, hey, I'm on my way. I'm going to stop at Starbucks for a cup of coffee. Can I grab you something?
Yep.
Dude, like that's right there. Like that's the kind of stuff, we're so worried about being the best technician when it's the best marketers and the best salespeople that are going to win. And those little bitty nuances of just that little bitty customer touch right there, I guarantee you, even if they don't want the coffee, they're going to be like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
He thought about me. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other guy didn't do it. The plumber didn't ask for anything.
No.
And that experience though, I mean, we use Responsibid, and the follow-up system in that is just absolutely incredible that we built out, from the initial call to setting the estimate to getting the text message thanking them, the email, the text the day before coming, the whole sequence that we have. And that's the one feedback we get from a lot of our customers. Like the communication is incredible, and it's all automated for us, other than the actual phone call for setting the appointment, and then the phone call for setting the actual job, and then the follow-up. Everything else is just completely automated, and they don't know that. They just think that, hey, we're going above and beyond to make sure they had the best service. And they just absolutely get thrilled with it, especially when it comes to the Christmas light side of things, because we have everything dialed in to say Santa, Christmas experience, and it's just like building up that excitement for the install. And then
nuance.
Yeah,
dude, the little bitty nuances and everything. Right? You're not just sending a quote out. I like you're Santa, Christmas. You're using certain words. And
you got to get that feeling invoked in them, so they're excited for you too, and then they're going to be your best marketer for you, because they're going to be bragging like, oh my God, you got to get these guys on. The best experience, great customer service, technicians were clean, uniform, professional, all that stuff. So. Yeah, you can't just stop once you get the sale. You got to keep it going all the way through, even after the job is done.
Oh yeah, retaining them. That's the last. Like you got to keep. I tell them, here we don't make a whole lot of money off the first time we use it. We make a little bit. But really, where we make the money is keeping them. Like the second, third, fourth time they use us is really where we thrive. And we're marketing constantly to our nose. I mean, you bought the data, so you might as well keep marketing to those people too.
Right.
We're marketing, we're doing everything we can to keep a client, every we're window cleaning. So you may not be able to do this with certain services, but we're calling them and sending them reminders, just like your dentist. Hey, it's been 6 months since your last teeth cleaning. It's been 6 months since your last window cleaning. Like,
Yep.
Just staying in front of them and keeping them. You paid for them, dude. And if you really go and break down your cost per customer acquisition, you would want to keep that client. You're going to be like, dude, I paid for that client. I'm going to keep them for life,
Yeah, no today does not mean it's gonna be it can't be a yes tomorrow. And that's the thing. Like once they hear no, they're like, all right, well, they're done. Just toss them to the side. No, we'll send them text message, we'll do emails, and we keep following up. We even have the sequence for I think it's 17 weeks. We have a sequence after they tell us no and decline the job just to follow up. And then we ask, if they got the service, how was it? Because maybe they realize like, wow, this was a bad mistake. We shouldn't have gone with these guys. We should have used KP or Pro Wash. They're still reaching out to us. So next time we'll definitely use you guys.
Yeah.
Instead of just toss them to the curb. Because like you said, that customer acquisition cost, that's money. That's money spent to get them. So why waste it?
Yeah. Yeah. And you cost per lead and cost per customer. Yeah, dude. I'll give you what I'm a little spiteful. So back in the day, what's up, Jeremy? Always be marketing. Yeah. Back in the days, dude, I was, I'm spiteful. So all my no's, I'd put them in a custom audience and just follow them around Facebook with all my before and after pictures, not trying to make sales, just, hey, you missed out, dude. Look at this great before and after picture, So that's a ninja trick that you can do right now. And it's $5 a day you can spend, following those no's around.
I love it. And then you're always in their face. And then it's kind of like when you're talking about something and all of a sudden it's like on your Facebook feed for the rest of the freaking day. It's like, Big Brother's listening. No, it's Chris. He's got you.
That's right. I'm following you around.
That's good stuff. All right. Let's see. What do we got here? All right. So yeah, here's a good one for you. So how do you stay motivated and focused on your goals in the face of setbacks and challenges? Because I know everybody's got, perfect lives, perfect businesses. They never have any issues. But I know people like you and I, like we struggle. So, what are some of those things that you're doing that keeps yourself pushing no matter what comes at you?
Yeah. So a guy named Myron Golden, he says, remove yourself from the outcome. So detach yourself from the outcome. So in other words, like if your goal is fill in whatever the blank is, I want to make $1 million this year. Like your goal isn't to make $1 million. Your goal literally is to become the person that you need to become and have the skill set that you need to have to make the $1 million. So I've learned I'm still learning this, man. Like I get setbacks all the time. It's frustrating. My self-limiting beliefs start to kick in and, I'm not worth it. I'm not good enough. I don't have the strategies. And I just keep going back to that of, hey man, even if I don't get the outcome, I still have an obligation to become a better person and hone in on my skill set so that way I can eventually have that. Time's just going to keep going. Like time's not going to stop. Like I'm learning this year. I just turned 40 years old this year and I'm starting to learn like crap, 50 is right there in 10 more years. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, I can get really, when the downfall comes and the obstacles come my way, I can really start to say, I can waste time and start to really be like, oh, poor me and poor this and poor that, the situation, the circumstances, or I can say, okay, go back to, hey man, it's you that sucks. It's not, the employee problem. It's not the marketing issue. It's not the sales. So how do we become a better person? And dude, this takes a lot of being real with yourself, man. This takes a lot of, so like whenever I start to see bad days and I start to see setbacks, I go back to me and I say, hey man, what did you like? How could we have done this differently? Like what could we have, because most of the time, dude, it's us. And very few times, man, it is the circumstances around us. It rained, like we have Hurricane Harvey come and, wipe out 3 weeks. That's not anything I can do, but the things I can control literally go back to, hey, Chris, you suck, not the situation. How do we become better at it? How do you turn the weakness into a strength? And then if I can't, how do I surround myself with people that can? Like I lack in leadership, and that's one thing I'm dealing with right now is like, I'm good at marketing. I'm good at sales, but now I need to become a better leader. And these are my pitfalls right now is like how I communicate with people. And, I get short and I'm like, okay, hey, that person quit probably because you they don't suck. And now your schedule is all screwed up for the week. And and you're short staffed, and it's like, okay, how do I become better? So that's like the long answer of it, man. It's the hardest thing to do, man. I can sit here and be like, you just need to suck it up, buttercup. But really, when the downfalls and the life starts just throwing you lemonade, where's it coming from? Why? How do I fix it? And not be the person that's constantly blaming other people and the circumstances around you. Life's gonna get hard, dude. Business is hard. Everything is hard. You just got. I love this thing, and I'll shut up after this. But choose your hard. You know what I mean? Being broke's hard. Getting rich is hard. Choose your hard, man.
Yeah,
like,
I love that.
Everything's hard.
Yep. Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, you got to take ownership. You can't be pointing fingers at everybody every day and just blame everybody else. If something goes wrong at the office, I'm always going straight to myself. What could I have done better to prevent that? Was it a training evolution that we could have done? Did I not communicate properly? And most of the time it's because I didn't do what I needed to. I just thought it was going to go right, or just assumed, and I failed. I failed my team. So yeah, that's real powerful message right there. What we got here? Mike Rhodes, Chris Martinez is the man. I always forget these comments over here. You got so many comments. Let's go through this real quick. Brandon Cody. There you go.
Yeah, man, your past doesn't define your future. I dude, it's hard. One of my biggest passions is mentoring, foster kids and people that are hopeless, and watching them go from a hopeless mindset to epiphany of, I can literally design my life. I can, have happiness and be rich and have be a well-respected leader in my community. Like, I can go from being a dope addict, drug dealer, to being a well-respected person in my community. And for me, it's been in 12, 14 years. It's the hardest 15 years of my life. Hardest 15 years of my life, dude. But it's been so worth it, because going from the destruction, the chaos, to living literally, like, I can't imagine this, and I couldn't have designed it better. It's just.
Yeah. No, you're an inspiration. I know quite a few people that had the same journey path as you, and just the way they're able to turn their entire life around. You would never know. I mean, if I just saw you on the streets, I would never know about your past. But that's not what defines you. It's today, what you're doing today, what you're doing with your family, what you're doing with your team, what you're doing for your community. So
that's right.
And just don't get stuck in that I can't do this belief.
Well, identify it, man. Like, I literally, because again, I'm a man, and it's like, nothing's wrong with me, and it's like, dude, go home in the shower, get alone time. If you need to drink a beer. If you just need to read a book, but literally sit there in alone time and say, like, how can I improve? Like, what areas of communication do I suck at? This is one of my, I have a hard time communicating. So now I'm trying to learn how to communicate with people. What's their personality, like learning people's personality, like, what's their personality? Like, okay, well, they're a D, and I need to talk to them like this, and they're a storyteller, so I probably need to storytell with them. And, all this stuff is new to me, and I'm learning, and this is the beautiful part about being human, is we get to learn, and we get to take our weaknesses and turn them into strengths.
Yeah. And that's the thing about being a leader. The leader you were 2 years ago is not the leader you are today. And the leader in 2 years from now will be completely different from you are today.
Yes.
You're constantly trying to evolve and better yourself and become a better leader. And you just recognize the traits, the good traits, the bad traits, the ones you need to improve on, the ones you need to get rid of. And you're just constantly growing. So let's see. Frank Mullen's got a big one here. I totally understand. Yeah. And having a great support. Yeah. Having great support is huge too, because like you said, men, we don't like to communicate. We don't like to talk. We don't have feelings. We can't talk about it because that just makes us weak. And once I got past that and was able to say, I need help, or even go to somebody like, can you talk to me? Because I need somebody right now. It was powerful. It really was. And just being able to have somebody listen to me and give me honest feedback instead of just me fighting with myself all the time. It was always me against me, and it was always wrong. But now that I can get an outside perspective, somebody to communicate with me and listen to me properly, I can take it in a different way and see it at a different angle now.
That's right. And then also taking that, like, I didn't take the original criticism of, hey, life doesn't suck. You suck, dude. I didn't take that. You know what I mean? But nowadays, when somebody comes to me and like, hey, man, maybe you could have done this differently or you could have done that differently. And it's like, the first response is like, oh, screw you, bro. You know what I mean? Like, not me, but now it's like, hey, man, maybe you're right. Let me go back, reevaluate that. And sometimes that means you got to apologize. Sometimes it means you got to step up and say, hey, dude, the way I talked to you earlier, that wasn't acceptable. I'm working on that. And can you call me out whenever I do that next time? And it takes real man to really be like, hey, dude, I was wrong. Like, right. I'm sorry. And how do I get better? Because that's really the ultimate, what we should be doing is getting better salesmen, getting better as a marketer, getting better as a leader, getting better as a human. Like, if we could do that, everything would be good. Business, life, the world.
Yeah. You got to be able to accept criticism, good and bad. And I love when I get bad feedback, because if I don't, I'll keep doing those negative toxic traits and having that same experience for people. But if they tell me like, hey, like, you're not doing this right, or you're not communicating properly, or you should be doing this better, it's like, well, thank you. Like, I don't need you to give me an attaboy. Like, tell me what I could be doing better so that I can improve on myself every day.
Right. Good stuff, man.
Sorry, don't keep repeating.
Yep.
That's right, Frank. All right. So real quick too, I want to just dive into, because you talked about the self-limiting beliefs, and I'm struggling right now too, and with thinking that I'm not good enough. Not good enough for my kids, not good enough for my friends, not good enough for the company. And it's something I'm like really working on right now, is trying to get through that. I had a really good conversation with somebody this weekend, but it's just that mindset that no matter what I do, it's never enough for somebody. And it's really hard to break that. And it's just at 42, I'm still fighting with that right now. But I've got people like you to inspire me to keep, getting that out of my head and to keep doing better.
Absolutely. One thing I do is I'm not good enough. And I just come to the realization, well, then get better. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, get good enough, like, I'm not, and that just goes back to be brutally honest. Like, man, I'm not good. Yeah, maybe you're not, because we all could be better. You know what I mean? Like, get better. That's all we can do, man. Just get better. Today should be better than tomorrow, and tomorrow should be better than today.
That's 1% better every day, right?
1%, dude. That's it.
Yeah, not asking for much.
3 steps forward, 2 steps back, still 1 step forward,
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in those 2 steps back.
I love that. All right, Chris. So we're going to end this. I got a question I like to ask everybody at the end, just kind of get your mind thinking and take a little bit off topic of a business and life. But if you were stranded on a deserted island, what were 3 things that you'd want to have with you?
Music, Bible, and a lighter.
Oh, I like that. That's a good one. Music's definitely a good one.
Music, lighter, and a Bible, dude. I think those 3 things I can survive.
All right. I had a fishing pole, a knife, and a fire starter.
Okay.
I've seen too many survival shows. Yeah. I see them bring out some silly stuff sometimes, and the fire is always the most important.
That's where the lighter comes in. Yep. I think I could, because I'm not a survivalist or anything, but I could do without, like, I can't do with boredom.
French bringing a woman, a gun, and a fire starter.
A woman, gun, and a fire starter. There you go. Then you're not deserted.
All right, Chris. Well, hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate you being honest and open and talking to everybody today. It's really encouraging, inspiring for all the listeners out there, because we all do struggle. And, having somebody out there like you inspiring us to do better every single day is so important. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep fighting the good fight, and keep being that hope dealer for all.
All right, man. Hey, you keep going too, dude. We're watching you, man. So
all right, Chris. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.